Lori Flaquette of Soltar Solutions, and today I am here on Focus Forward. I'm so excited to have this guest today, but before I introduce you to her, I want to talk a little bit about Wisdom of the Guardian, written by Dr. Joy Peterson. This is a fabulous book. I recommend everybody to read it. A very easy read, but extremely profound. This will help you to really understand what's going on in your life, in the world, and in the afterlife. I love the book, and I highly recommend it. Now I have the pleasure of introducing someone that I am absolutely crazy about. We met a few years ago when she interviewed me on her radio show, and then we hooked up at a conference in Chicago, which was great. So we got to meet in person. We had a great time. And now she's here with me. Oh, and recently I was on her show, and now she's here with me. I would like to introduce you to Jaynine Howard. She is USMC retired. You're not going to believe this when you meet her. Jaynine, thank you so much for being here.
You are welcome.
So today, tell us about, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to be a Marine?
I would love to say it was wonderful for 20 years, but that would be stretching it a bit. But,
really?
I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was a great stepping stone, great opportunities, and now I'm where I'm at. And I know it's because of those things, the skills I've learned being a Marine carry over to my business coaching. They're still part of my brand. I can't get away from them if I tried.
Well, the wonderful thing is that you really understand both worlds, because you also, you have a PhD, so you're highly educated. You came from the background of being in the military. You're able really to help the military transition, which, I think is phenomenal. You understand both worlds, and not everybody does. I mean, I could never understand what that would be like.
I think you're right. And, I've had such unique experiences being in the military, working for the Secretary of the Navy on his personal staff. So even seeing things from that level, and now as a business owner, I really see people often don't see the big picture. They just see what's in front of them.
Well, I had no idea that you were such a bigwig. I had no idea.
Oh, gosh.
I am so impressed. I'm more impressed than I was before, which was pretty impressed.
That taught me patience.
So the great thing about you is we have conversations on the phone. It's just like talking to another friend, and there you are.
It is. And it's always like we haven't stopped talking.
I know. It's always like we haven't stopped talking. It's amazing. And it's like we don't stop talking. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about something that I learned from you, and you really exposed me to it, the power of Pinterest. So come on, tell us about Pinterest. Sell us on Pinterest.
Oh my gosh. Pinterest is where it's at. If people do not have a Pinterest account for their business, they need to hurry up and catch up. I started my business because I wanted to be debt-free. I wanted to stay debt-free, and social media was one of the tools in my toolbox to staying debt-free. And Pinterest is one more tool. But the statistics on the buying power that Pinterest has, we're also visual. Pinterest is mostly used by women. We love to shop. We make the consumer buying decisions for our families. Pinterest makes it easy. So anyone with a product or a service needs to be on Pinterest. They now recently came out with business pages. So just similar to Facebook, where you have a personal page and a business page, incorporate them both, because it's the power of what I call compound friending. Just as your money in the bank earns interest and grows, that's what social media does for your business. It's compound friending. It's out there. And what's unique with Pinterest is it's 24/7. There's no way you can block what people see or share. Except, I will add now, except they did recently again come out with secret boards. Mm-hmm. And those can be very powerful. Mm-hmm. But everything you're doing on Facebook, YouTube, other social media platforms can integrate into your Pinterest. Upload those videos. It's not just pictures, it can be videos. You can put a price tag showing what the price of a product or a service would be, or a book. And then again, put an active link to go to that website. The average person, and let me share this real quick.
Yep.
I'm sorry. The average buyer on Twitter spends $68. The average buyer on Facebook will spend about $80. The person on Pinterest is going to spend about $179.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
It is. So if that doesn't say, I need to be making time to learn Pinterest, I really call it Pinterest for profit. You need to be there because, again, I think it's that psychological, you see it, it's being shared. It's just much more fun than reading a sales page.
Oh, totally. It's totally more fun. So in preparation for this show today, I decided, well, I didn't decide. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning and I started uplifting the videos onto Pinterest because I said to myself, let me see if I can do this because I wanted to have some of these shows up. So Pinterest is so user-friendly. It is so easy. You know, it's basically
I could teach Miss Savannah to do it.
I know. I was just going to say, it's like taking candy from a baby. All you have to do is it's so user-friendly. It's really well thought out. It's really easy. The other thing is, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And women do like beautiful things.
Yes, and it hits, again, back to the psychology part, it's stimulating that pleasure center of our brain that chocolate, wine, and sex all hit. So that's why we love it. We love to shop. It's feeding that need.
It's
making us feel good.
Yeah, it does feel good. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is I think I could go on to Pinterest at like 4 or 5 or 6 in the afternoon for a half an hour, but I would wake up still on Pinterest at like 4 in the morning. You know what I mean? I think it could be so addictive.
I agree, and that's where you put on the business owner hat, and it is all about time management. So you have in your day planner built in when you are going to, I'm only setting aside 15 minutes or an hour. And that's, if you need to set the timer on the phone, that's what you do. And then when it's done, you move on to the next task.
Well, that's great.
You really have to have that social media strategy and know how long you're devoting to each platform.
Right. I think that's a little bit difficult to adhere to, don't you?
Yes. But I will admit, I think the beauty of social media is you can do it sitting on the couch next to your sweetie, and they're not going to be offended that you're clicking because you can still carry on a conversation.
Exactly.
You can be watching your mindless television show and be uploading your Pinterest or clicking and sharing and keeping an eye on things.
Yes, that's really what I liked about it is that it's really, you can just upload things. I have probably, I don't know how many tens of thousands of photos, because when I'll go away, I'll take, 3,000-4,000 photos because I'm a maniac with it. So for me, being able to just sit and upload those photos, and it's, in a way, it's relaxing.
Yes.
You feel like that? Okay, good. You feel like you're doing something, you're moving forward with something, you're seeing the result of it immediately right before your eyes, and you can still be thinking about something else or even listening to a DVD or a CD. I do that a lot when I'm working. Mm-hmm. So that way, I'm taking in information as my fingers are moving.
And from the flip side of that is the consumer, I'm not apt to buy cookbooks or print anything out anymore. I have one board strictly for sinful treats, and I know I've got the recipe there, and I go back and look for it.
I love
So I think
that.
it has really replaced cookbooks. Because you know how sometimes you buy a cookbook and there's only one recipe in it you really want?
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
I think it's kind of a going green effort
Uh-huh.
when it comes to shopping, again, which we all love to do. But you want to recycle what's in your closet. I was just amazed how you go on there and you start looking at the fashion, and it's like, I have that. I have that. Oh, I never thought of matching it up for that outfit. So I think you're saving money. You're getting new ideas. You just use it also as a savings because you're learning. It's a great education tool. Everybody's starting to post tutorials. And you could even have your tutorials on there in a secret board only for your select clients, or like for me, I have coaching clubs. So my coaching clubs have secret boards, and I can have things I only want them to see first.
I love it. I love it. So tell us, all these things that are there, all these wonderful things that we could take advantage of, what's the basic that we need to do if we're not involved with Pinterest now? What's the basic that we should do right now?
Right now, get an account, set up your About Me. I took pictures of my business cards, uploaded my business card, so they've got my contact information as my main photo on that board. I've got pictures of me from grade school, little 2-year-old, all the way through my Marine Corps career to what I'm doing now. It's letting people see who I am as a person. So you have your About Me board. If you've got different specific niches, have a board for each of those. I've got one for business coaching. I have one for career coaching. If you have sponsors for your events, what better way to thank your sponsors than have a sponsor board with active links for each of their logos back to their websites?
Every single time I talk to you, it's like all these ideas just start coming. It's just like, I think when I'm listening to you, I just keep thinking, wow, I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do the other thing. And I'll tell you, after I talked to you the last time about Pinterest, I opened the Pinterest account, I started uploading things. This morning I was putting up the media, and it's fun. It's really fun, and I'm absolutely gonna do more of it. I have a lot of pages there. I have to start filling them in. So we have our account, we have some of our ideas there, we have some of our pages. What's the next thing that we can do? I'm holding your feet to the flames, honey. I'm telling you right now.
Want to say, you reminded me of a good one to have when you start about your media board. Just as we have a media room on our website, have in the news or a media board, so you could put your current events that you're appearing in the newspaper, different shows you're on. Have that so they see you're staying current. You could have a testimonial page.
Oh, I love that.
Video testimonials or some written testimonials, save them as a PDF, then save them as a JPEG, upload them. So really you said, okay, so now what after that? I think it's just really getting comfortable setting aside time to make it part of your marketing. And maybe you need to add it to your marketing budget because you need to pay someone to create some of these infographics. Take articles you've done that you've written, go on over to Fiverr and have somebody make an infographic off that article. How visual. Recycle what you have.
Okay, so what is an infographic? Tell us, because I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm probably not explaining it correctly, but it's when you see everybody's now jumping on the bandwagon and it's this picture with all these bubbles and little pictures, and they're sharing tips, and they may have 10 tips and 10 bubbles, and it's just a pretty picture of words.
Okay, I get it. I get it now. Okay,
I know that's how I describe it. But it's a new way to share. Instead of reading an article, they're looking at this very visual picture.
That's great.
And it's sharing great content.
That's great. And when we go to your Pinterest, we'll be able to see those, right?
Yes, look at the social media pages. Those are where I have lots of infographics. And I actually had one created on Fiverr that's on my career coaching page. And it talks about, it's like a questionnaire if people are ready to leave the military. And I had it done on Fiverr. I love Fiverr.
Do you?
I do. And again, you could take time, you could spend 3-4 hours trying to teach yourself how to do it, or go over to Fiverr and pay somebody $5 and let them have fun doing it.
Wow, that
Use your time
sounds.
wisely.
I've never used it, but I'm gonna definitely. I've heard about it quite a few times. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna look into it. Great advice.
Highly recommend, because you can even take a media release, add a picture to it, put it on Pinterest, put it in your media room.
Okay, I have that. I've done that. I'm impressed that I've done that. Yes, and I've started uploading these shows because I figure people who go on, they'd want to see these shows. It gives me another outlet for them. And,
Yeah.
the other thing is, what's the most important thing? The most important thing is to communicate value to the people out there, to help them, give them some maybe specific understanding about something that we're knowledgeable of. So for me, I'm really into educating, and I know you are as well.
And it's also about building that relationship. Just as with any of social media, you combine, a little bit of personal, because people want to resonate with you. So if you go over to mine, you're going to see Miss Savannah, you're going to see pit bulls, you're going to, you'll catch on that I'm passionate about dogs. And believe it or not, those people are good at sharing my stuff.
Well, I've got to
So
put
it's
mine on.
the relationship building.
Yep, I've got to put my dogs on. I love my dogs. I love.
Don't we all? I mean, they're like family. Once our children are grown,
I know.
they're like our children. They're my grandkids. I don't have grandkids yet. I have grandpups.
Yep.
And she gets reposted several times, which always amazes me. But
I love Miss Savannah. Every time I see her, she's so cute. She just looks like she's, you have such great pictures. I mean, I don't let my dogs on the furniture. I know you don't have that problem. But it's
I'm a
fun.
Marine. I'm used to sleeping in dirt. A dog on the bed doesn't faze me.
Yeah, no, that's not happening in my house. But anyway, yeah, so Pinterest is the way to go. So question, because this is what people ask me all the time, and I really don't always understand how they miss it, but I'm going to ask you because I want you to tell me. How do we monetize it?
We don't spam. We keep it a nice balance of business, of pleasure, and sharing great content. But you do make sure when you're setting up your profile, you've got all your social media, your website, all the links work. When you're sharing about a book, you have a link going to the Amazon site or to that author's website to purchase that book. You can also put, when you're typing the description, you could put the dollar sign. You put the dollar sign and the price of the book, and it will put the price across the top of the photo, so people know it's for sale.
Okay.
And then they'll click, and it will take them to the website to make the purchase.
All right, so that's how you're monetizing, is through selling the book. And what about selling services?
And developing relationships.
Okay. And what about selling services?
I would do the same thing. If you've got a postcard, or even if you look at some of my fall retreats, I went to Fiverr, had some videos created, and it showed it linked back to those squeeze pages so they could sign up for my retreats.
Okay, so you're really using it just in a marketing function, in an absolute marketing function. Because
Yes.
Sometimes people don't understand. I'm trying to say to people, business is based on relationships. It's based on trust. It's based on people want to do business with people they like. I mean, that's definitely.
And know, like, trust, and see is the expert.
Yeah, exactly. So the way that we are able to further our business is through being out there in front of people, being likable, developing a relationship with them, and also, instilling trust. And helping. That's the other thing is I believe that the foundation of business is to be able to help that person and ease their journey. And that's one of the things that I try to focus on with my posts is that, I'm doing this. You know what the bottom line is? You can do this too. So
Yes.
I think that sometimes the sale is not as direct as what you're talking about, where people see something on Pinterest and buy it. I think the sale is more of a softer sell.
Yes, exactly.
So, so what else? What are things that we wouldn't think about with Pinterest, or we wouldn't have the idea about posting that have been valuable for you?
I think it's really having the secret boards and knowing the secret boards could be for your VIP clients. They could be membership. You could be actually even using secret boards to interact and share ideas with your virtual team. Because you can, like, if you go over to mine, and it's I think it's Coach Jaynine, and you look at some of my job boards, I have other companies can post on those. They're open to be shared. They're sharing boards. So I can have clearjobs.net, Military Avenue are allowed to post on my boards.
Nice.
So we're having that relationship.
Excellent, excellent. And how does the radio show tie into everything?
On Pinterest, I use it. I have a board for my radio show, but I'm highlighting each guest and a link back to the guest website.
Excellent. So you're using that.
So if they have a book or a blog, I've got something, whether it's the cover of the book or their photo, something there that's visual, and I'll put a little comment, they're my guest on this day, such and such, with their website, not mine, their website.
Excellent.
To link back.
Excellent.
So it's giving back. It's not just me taking
Yep.
from everyone. I'm sharing. I use it for my sponsors of my events. They've got their own board. But again, people are seeing, because I say you want more boards. Don't just smoosh everything on one board, because people won't take the time. It might not spark them.
Well, that's what I love I'm sorry.
Well, if you go to mine, I've got not just the Marine Corps, I've got military working dogs, I've got pit bulls, I've got Miss Savannah. So I'm giving you different types of dogs. And usually they'll see the military working dog, then that brings them in to know more about me. Because they're probably thinking, why does she care?
Right.
Then they realize I'm a veteran. I've got a pit bull. That's why I'm involved with rescues.
Mm-hmm.
And they're learning about me through pictures.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's great. The other thing is, I just want to find out, what do you think one thing I wanted to say about Pinterest is one of the things I love is that you can have the other boards, all the different boards, and things are neatly organized. I think that really helps the viewer, and it definitely helps me keep track of what I'm doing. But what do you think the right percentage of maybe sending a message out, push-pull marketing, sending a message out, and the other thing is bringing people closer in? So what's the percentage that we should be looking for of sending messages and promoting ourselves and talking to other people about them?
I kind of just always go back, and that's a great question, back to what I was taught early on was kind of keep the ratio 3-to-1, 3 sharing great content to 1 promoting something.
Okay, great. That's really good advice, because
because then you're not spamming it, because people, I think if it were reversed, people would be turned off, and we all know we get bombarded on Facebook sometimes by people just selling one thing, and that's all they ever do. They don't want to talk to us. They don't want to share a great tip about the product. They're just slamming us with products to buy. Nobody likes that. Educate about your product. If you sell beauty products, remind people to clean the brushes, to put on sunscreen. Then, after you've educated on certain things, then offer a new product that's coming out. But keep it 3 educating, sharing great stuff to 1 selling something.
Excellent.
And I don't think people will get tired of you.
Excellent, excellent. That's great advice. Thank you. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that home, and I'm going to start sharing more things that people can benefit from. What I was trying to do is kind of motivate people, but I'm gonna start switching it up a little bit. So I cannot believe that this time has gone already. As far as I'm concerned, we just started. So
it's always that way with us, Lori.
I know, it's always like that with us. So hopefully you'll be in Minnesota soon talking to us right here live. But until then, I'm going to have to say goodbye. We're going to bring you back on. There's a million things we want to talk about. You are a wealth of knowledge. So right now I have to say goodbye, darling. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. So I hope that you've enjoyed our segment today of Focus Forward with Jaynine Howard, USMC retired. I mean, that's amazing. She also has coached Jaynine that she helps retired military and other people to really move their business forward and to help them personally as well as professionally. So do check her out. So thanks so much for joining us today.